You know, David, I mentioned this earlier when I first heard the story that the Liberals provincially were announcing, okay, here's a date, here's how it's going to work. I thought, you know what, good for you, because I think, at least in my take, and please, I want you to tell me what you think here, this actually seems like a pretty positive step to not let time go by without doing anything. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right, Aaron. I think the Liberals really moved quickly here. Sending a clear message that they are open to a race. Now, my thinking here is that I'm not too sure there will be a race, though. Aside from Charles Milliard, and the fact that Charles Milliard hasn't jumped the gun here, hasn't made any statements confirming that he will be in the race, and with everybody from the usual suspects pool saying no right away, I'm wondering, okay, Charles Milliard was waiting for the rules. Now we have the rules. I'll be very, very curious to see if anybody else will really mount this, because $30,000, that's the deposit, Aaron. At $500, it's a shot max.
Right.
And obviously this time around, you can bet that everybody's going to be very, very careful on where that 500 comes from and how it's paid. And you're in the dead of winter also. I mean, going across Quebec in the spring is one thing. It's quite another. Remember, in the previous race, only 14,000 people actually voted.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot. I mean, by any standard. And so, $30,000, that's the deposit, $120,000 max. I think what Charles Milliard is doing right now actually is just trying to build a coalition, just trying to get some bridges built, because there are some clans within the party. There are some really deep divisions within the party right now. So I think that's what Milliard is doing, and I'll be very surprised if somebody else steps up. But good on the party for showing, okay, we're ready for a race, and we'll have one. We'll have a quick one, and we'll get it done.
So to what you just said, David, you would be surprised if someone other than Charles Milliard actually announces their intention to run?
Well, yes, right now. I mean, look, Monsef Daraji, who I thought might consider it, he did consider it last time, was named by Marc Tanguay yesterday as House Leader.
Right.
So he's out. André Fortin hasn't sent any signals. He's said no every opportunity he got over the past several years. He doesn't seem to be wanting to go. So who else is there? I just, I'm not saying he should run or he would have any shot, but just for example, Marc Bélanger, who ran last time, a lawyer from Quebec City, he posted today, he finished fourth. He got, I think, 3 or 4% of the vote in the first round, or points, I should say. And he said, well, look, I got a lot of emails and messages saying I should consider running this time around, but, I'm still stuck in 2025. I still have a campaign debt to pay off. So could you please send me $500? He really did. Yeah. He posted that on socials today, because he still has to reimburse a campaign debt for the first time around. So it's not a simple thing.
Can I cross Denny Coderre off my bingo card?
Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can definitely. I really, right now, I mean, unless, obviously, having an open race, there's nothing prohibiting somebody to step up with $30,000 and say, you know what, I want my ideas to be heard, and I want this to be a race. And we saw that, in several different leadership races. We saw it for the Carney race. We saw that for the Poilievre race, where you have some outliers saying, you know what, I'm going to run no matter what. And so, fine, fair enough. But I don't see, because the race starts January 12th. That's very, very soon. And after that, you have until February 13th to raise your first $30,000 for the deposit. So that's going to be a task for anybody, especially with no name recognition and no real shot.
So another story today, and it's funny because, of course, when you see the word referendum, your first thought is, what? We talk about this, what happened? But no, this question comes from Alberta, one step closer closer to a potential separation because they're going to be allowed to post this as a referendum question, right?
Well, they have, in Alberta, they allow for public initiatives, right? Publicly driven referenda, I should say. And so they got the number of signatures. What I love about this initiative is the question is, so simple. Do you want to leave Canada and form a country? Okay, there it is. I would hope the PQ would go for something as simple as that. But again, all the numbers out of Alberta, it's significant in some way, but in other ways, all the polls show that this has no real traction. So they have to do it because it's Alberta law. They got the requisite number of signatures, and it seems to be legal this time around because the other time there was a court challenge. But anyways, and so we'll see. But it does say something about the state of our federation. But support right now in Alberta for independence seems even lower than in Quebec.
By the way, so once they get this out of their blood, is that it for Alberta? This goes away for the next 10 years?
No, I think Alberta understands that to get more out of the federation, you have to scream and yell, and that's the Quebec model for the last 60 years. And and if you look at it from outside of Quebec, it says, well, you know what, Quebec, with all of this, they've gotten a lot out of it. And if you look at transfer payments, et cetera, from our perspective, we don't feel we never get enough. But it's like in every family, right? Nobody's happy. But the thing is that I think Albertans feel that right now, especially with energy and the way things are going economically, and their population growth and everything, what they're developing with the federal government, and Mark Carney, showing more openness to Alberta's demands, especially in energy. I think, that's part of the strategy. If you have that movement and it's strong and it pushes the other political parties to be more autonomous and ask more of the central government, why not?
Fair enough. Listen, I want to just, I don't know if you happened to hear Andrew Lutfi either yesterday when we replayed it today. Did you catch any of what he had to say?
I did not. I'm sorry.
Because he's taking Francois Legault to task directly. He sent him a letter, right, saying, look, unless you change the immigration rules, we're going to lose our head. And he's suggesting that he's obviously not the only one in this situation, right, who thinks this, because other businesses are faced with the same kind of restrictions. Does this go anywhere?
I think it does, especially in the election year. And look, it's on not only Lutfi. All the major employer groups, lobbies in Quebec are saying the same thing. The Conseil du Patronat du Québec, la Fédération des Chambres de Commerce, you go down the line, manufacturiers, exportateurs, all the major lobby groups that represent all the different sectors, going from agriculture to heavy manufacturing and everything in between, are saying these immigration policies absolutely make no sense and are hurting us economically. So yet again, I think this just does go somewhere because it will contrast because now we're basically we're barely in pre-election mode. We're going to be coming back in January, especially when the National Assembly resumes in early February. We're going to be in election campaign mode, right? And so with François Legault going extreme, right on many issues, including immigration, and we already know where the Parti Québécois is on this. They would go even further in reducing immigration. That gives, yet again, an interesting opportunity for the Liberals if they do manage to have a leader that can connect with the electorate on the economy, on kitchen table issues, because it says, look, if the small and medium-sized businesses can't get workers, that's going to hurt where predominantly, Aaron, in the region.
Right.
And it's going to hurt Francophones. And so, and a lot of people are saying, we're going too far here, and we need to have sensible immigration policy, and this is not making sense.
David, we leave it at that. And as I said, this is my last show for the year. I want to thank you for being with us all year. It's been a lot of fun. I look forward to it in 2026, and I wish you all the best for the holidays as well.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure, sir, and all the best to you.
Go Yankees, go.
Hey. Hold on. The Sox are signing. The Sox.
Have a good one, pal. Take good care.
Seasoned gamer or just video game curious? This Week in Gaming is the podcast for you. We break down the latest in the world of video games, from basics to beyond. The hottest gaming news, insight, and industry leaders and more, weekly. Join me, Naomi Kyle, and stay ahead of the game with all the latest updates, even if you're a total newbie. Stream This Week in Gaming on the free iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.